Hi everybody. Okay. Today's theme is try until you succeed. I've done this video 3 different times. The reason I did it 3 times is because the first video my cell phone went off. The second video my dad came by to visit sooner than I thought, so he kind of in the video in the last minute. So this is the third time, and if I don't get it right, forget it for today. Okay. So, all right. There are a lot of topics to talk about, and I'm gonna try to make it as short as possible, but give you all the details. So I say give me 10 minutes or less, because like I said, there's a lot. Okay. All right. So to back up to yesterday slightly, last 5 minutes, Devon and Abby are in the park, sitting on a bench, and she doesn't know he's going to propose at all. And I know that proposals are supposed to be secret, but and surprises, but she had no clue. They were just sitting there and talking, and he starts to get all nostalgic at first for a minute. I'm like, okay, he's getting nostalgic, cool. And then he's like, well, for the rest of my life, I want this and that. And I'm like, oh, this is gonna get deep. And then I still didn't see the proposal coming, but he said the right thing. He said, I want, I'm not trying to forego getting down on one knee and proposing, but I want you to say yes right now. So, Abby, will you marry me? And she says, oh, wow, are you serious? Like, that would be the typical reaction of any girl because, first of all, you don't go around. I'm going to speak for the female population for a couple seconds here. You don't go around in life thinking that a guy is ever going to propose to you. Now, you want it to happen and you wish for it to happen, but you don't go around thinking that. So when somebody actually says those words, you think, are you serious? That's your first reaction. Then your second reaction, almost instantaneously, is either yes or no. It's usually yes, but sometimes it's no, because sometimes it's, are you out of your mind? We barely know each other, whatever. There could be a myriad of reactions and reasons, right? Okay, so she says yes, of course. And, he's already prepping himself for, you know, well, it's okay if you have to think about it. And she's like, I don't have to think about it. Yes, yes. So, okay. So you're like, okay, wow. So then, okay, today, follow up. The news of the engagement came out fast, which is fine. You probably want it that way because, well, I would hope. Now I'm going to be personal for a second. I would hope that if I'm in that position, I want to be so excited that I just want to tell the world. So I can see that happening. However, the situation is slightly different because her mother is out of the country for treatment. Her father would be supportive, but he doesn't know yet. And his father, well, and then Devon is adopted. However, his mother, well, the storyline is she died. And then his father died, tragically. And that was a real life loss because we really did lose Christophe St. John. May he rest in peace. Okay. So, okay. So then you can kind of put yourself in the position of the two people because you have this great news, but who are you going to tell? And how are you going to tell them? because I just gave you the dynamics of the people involved. So it's like, are you gonna wait until both your parents, for Abby, are you gonna wait until both your parents at the same time? Or are you gonna tell your mother by video call and your father in person, or what? Um, so, uh, you know, she goes for the latter, which is she wanted to tell her, she wanted to tell her in person. However, she tells her on a video call, and at first it was kind of odd because she said, "Oh, mom, I really have some news. I want to tell you in person, but you know, um, I'm engaged to Devon, and you know." And at first she seems like she's happy, right, for a second. And then the doubt creeps in, which is really weird because, not that that's a weird reaction, but given the history of this couple, they were friends forever until they got together as a couple. And then it was like bam, bam, bam. You know, they got pregnant with or they went through a surrogate because of the whole thing with Chance. Um, and they got pregnant with Dom by Mariah really fast. And then they started living together. And so they raised the kid, or they're raising the kid and living together pretty fast. So at that point, engagement is kind of inevitable, but you still don't know when it's going to happen. And no matter what someone says, when you get to a certain point in a relationship, when you get to a certain number of years, people are starting to think like, are you ever going to get married? I mean, the next logical step is marriage. Have you ever thought of that? Um, you know, but then again, it's kind of a weird spot to be in because you don't want to put pressure on the guy, but you also don't want to be waiting there for years and years and years and going, okay, well, are we on the same path? So then you have to bring it up, but then you don't want to freak him out. So there's the whole thing. Okay. Um, but luckily, you know, he proposed. And so, okay. So then she had doubt because, like I said in my previous video, this is her fourth engagement, which I didn't know because I knew about the engagement to Chance and the marriage, but somehow I missed two engagements. Yeah, I don't know. But this one, I think is gonna, well, obviously, I think it's gonna stick, and I think they're gonna get married. And luckily, now this is my hope for this one because they've been friends for so long, and because they've already been through some stuff before. I hope that they don't have that many things after they get married. That's what I hope for. But who knows? Um, so yeah. Okay. The other side. So this is kind of like, imagine, okay, if you can, imagine happily ever after on this side. And then the not so happily ever after and doomed on this side. Okay, the doomed couple I'm talking about here is Kyle and Summer. Now, to clarify, they're already doomed because they're divorced. So the doom part already kind of happened, but apparently, I don't know from experience because I have never been divorced, so I don't know. Um, but apparently divorce can make you somewhat bitter. And bitter to the possibility of new relationships and also bitter toward other people slightly to where you warn them about the possible pitfalls of relationships. And Kyle Kyle, honey, did not disappoint because, okay, put yourself in the seat. This is what I do. Imagine yourself on cloud 9 or 10 because you just got engaged. So you're happy, right? Really, really happy. Imagine yourself at the happiest moment of your life. I mean, happiest. And then you say, oh my God, I'm engaged. And one of your best friends is like, okay, well, I hope for you, but in my uh, experience has been really, really bad. And he he went a step further than what I just said because what I said was really kind. What he said was, I swear to God, um, well, great, but have the divorce papers ready. only it was more melancholy than I just said that. I only said that with joy because it kind of made me laugh. But if you understand the stuff that Kyle's been through with Summer and the whole everything, you understand where he's coming from. Because once again, I try to put myself in the person's shoes and imagine yourself, you're working for your family company, the company that you think you're going to inherit. You've been told your entire life, kind of uh, uh, trained to be in the position to take over the company. And then because of some strife or a fight or something, your mother fires you from your own company. Okay? And then your sworn enemy of your father takes you as a pawn to use and hurt your father because of what he did with the other guy's wife. And to be clear, Jack didn't do anything, okay? I mean, okay. Jack put himself in harm to save Nikki, but the way Victor's mindset has always been, she's my wife, and so I should be the one to help her, save her, whatever, you know? And so he can't even fathom the idea that someone else, let alone his sworn enemy for years, had to step in and help her. That's unbelievable. Completely unbelievable to Victor Newman. So, yeah. Okay. So then also, kind of on the same, like, imagine a tree. There are two branches, two big branches. Okay? The one branch over here is what I just talked about. The other branch is the relationship co-parenting with Summer. Okay? Yeah, that's not going so good either. But in fairness to Kyle, Kyle is actually being the grown up here, and Summer is being a 13-year-old. And also, on top of that, an insecure 13-year-old. Because she doesn't want him to be with any other woman, number one. Because for some weird reason, which I will never understand, she doesn't want to be with Kyle, but she doesn't want anybody else to have him either. But also, she doesn't want her son to love anybody as much as he loves her, or he's supposed to love her, because she sees herself as his mother. So the thought of someone else possibly taking that role, she's not really keen on, and she never has been. Yeah, because in her mind, she's raised him from a very early age, so that's why. But then also coupled with what I just said too. So it's like a big, big thing. And it's like a bomb that you keep putting stuff in, and then one day it's going to explode. And the explosion is going to be huge. And what I'm worried about, and I think I've verbalized this before, but what I'm worried about is that collateral damage is going to be Harrison, or they're going to pull him in several different directions, and he's going to feel like he has to choose a parent. Either one of those things, not a good situation for the child. So, and as a small note, uh, I don't know. I'm kind of, well, as you can tell, I'm personally invested in this only because I feel bad for Claire because she has never been out of the country and she's never really experienced too much if you believe the backstory of the character. So I don't want her to get out of miss out on fun because of someone else being immature. That's what I hope doesn't happen. But like the rest of you, I will have to wait and see what happens with this storyline. But yeah, suffice this to say, please be prepared for a bomb explosive like to maybe change a lot of things in Genoa City. So yeah. All right, bye guys.